Vanessa Rascaeta, and today I'll be talking about how to create a perfect utopian society. We'll start off by defining what utopia is. Utopia was a concept proposed by Thomas More, who was an English lawyer, writer, and layman who wrote the first formal utopia in 1516. He defined utopia, which is considered a perfect world, as a complex, self-contained world set on an island with communities that would share the same culture and living in equality. Other ideals that he proposed were a system of punishment, education, marriage tradition, dress code, and death ceremonies. Why I would mention a pink utopian planet? Why pink? Pink because it means compassion, nurturing, hope, and love. In psychology, pink is a sign of positivity, inspiration, and it provides warm feelings, which could definitely provide a sense of that everything would be okay. Pink also calms and reassures our emotional energies, and it reduces the feelings of anger, aggression, and neglect. If I would have to pick a theory to base my planet on, it would definitely be the Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, which consists of eight stages throughout the lifespan. The successful completion of each of these eight stages will result in a healthy personality and the acquisition of virtues. The first stage is trust versus mistrust. In this stage, it normally occurs within the first 12 months of life. Um, Infants and during this period of time they're not sure about the world that they live in, so they look for confidence in the care that they receive from their parents. They need definitely all these warm feelings of being sure and being loved that they receive. The success in this stage, as Erickson proposed, will lead to the virtue of hope. But if we fail to acquire, it will result in the development of fear. The second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. This is where we discover our own abilities and we will illustrate a sense of independence and autonomy. The aim of this stage would be self control without loss of self esteem. And the success on these stages will lead to the virtue of will. This is where our free will will take place. And I would definitely add the concept of free will in our society because I want people to be real. I want people to be true and just behave the way they like to without harming or doing anything bad to our society. Then the third stage is initiative versus guilt. This normally happens around 3 years old until like 5 years old. This is where children assert themselves more frequently. And the success on this stage will lead to the virtue of purpose. Then the fourth stage is industry versus inferiority. This is where the process of learning to read and write and do things on our own will take place. The feelings of need to win approval by demonstrating specific competencies are valued by society, and the development of a sense of pride and accomplishment is crucial for an individual's life. The success in this stage will lead to the virtue of competency. Then, on the fifth stage, which is identity versus role confusion, this is a transition from childhood to adolescence when it is this is where it takes place, and this is, like, to me, the more important stage of any person's life. This is, like I said, a major stage in development where roles of adults are being set. The person begins to look at the future in terms of career, relationship, families, housing, etc. And according to Erickson, two identities are involved, which is sexual and occupational. And the success of this stage will lead to the virtue of fidelity, which involves being able to understand and accept others' ideologies. Then, if we fail to, process and all this kind of like identity, then we will definitely conduct to the role confusion, which is the individual not being able to discover themselves and find a place in society. Then we have stage 6, which is intimacy versus isolation. This is where we begin to share ourselves in a more intimate way with others. We look for long-term relationships, and the success completion of this stage will lead to a sense of commitment for each aspect of our life. And for example, safety and care within a relationship as uh, virtue of love that will be developed. And if we avoid intimacy and fear to commit, then we might lead to isolation, which definitely could lead to depression. Then we have stage 7, which is generativity versus stagnation. This is where our career has been already established. We settle down with a relationship, and the way to pay back to society is by being productive at work, and we could become involved in community activities and organization. The success in this stage will lead to the virtue of care. Then the last one will be the stage 8, which is ego, integrity versus despair. This is where we become senior citizens and everything when it comes to productivity will just slow down, and we'll start to discover life in a different perspective, which is just being a retired person. We will contemplate our accomplishment and develop integrity if we consider that we have lead a successful life. If we believe that our goals were not accomplished and we could feel guilty about our past, then we will be unsatisfied and we will develop just despair, which could lead to depression. And the success of this stage will lead to the virtue of wisdom if we consider that we have had a successful life. But this is something that would come with the person depending on what their interests are. And I hope that this helps.